If you sit down and start researching how to make a website, chances are you're gonna hear about these 8 website builders. I've built websites with every one of these website builders, and here's the truth. They each have strengths and weaknesses. The trick is to find which of these best matches your project. In this video, I'll explain each website builder, when to use it and when not to use it. Plus, I have a bonus tool to share at the end. So, let's start with Squarespace. Here we are in Squarespace. This is one of my websites. We can click Edit to start editing our page. Pages are made up of these blocks, and you can drag and drop the blocks around your page. You can also resize them. There are tons of different blocks you can choose from, obvious stuff like text, buttons, images, and less obvious stuff like newsletter signups and Instagram widgets. You can also add a section to a page, which is just a pre-designed collection of blocks. This is a simple but open-ended way of creating pages. If you're comfortable dragging and dropping, you'll be comfortable with this. This drag and drop editor is what makes Squarespace well suited for personal websites and small business websites. Like a portfolio website, musician website, blogs, real estate website, cafes, and so much more. Squarespace is what I call a general purpose website builder, because it can be used to build a variety of small business or personal websites. For myself, I'm currently using Squarespace for my band's website, my mom's therapy practice, and even just a website for this YouTube channel. This is my brother's and dad's real estate website. I didn't make it, but I recommended they use Squarespace, and they did. I don't use Squarespace for every website. As you'll see in this video, I use different website builders for different websites, but I do think Squarespace is best for kind of portfolio websites or small business websites and personal websites. And you can see that reflected in their templates, which they're pretty well known for. So here's a graph. We have a scale from easy to use to learning curve. And down here, it's limited to customizable. I'd put Squarespace here. It's an easy website builder, but it's probably not the most customizable on this list. Squarespace's biggest competitor is Wix. Like Squarespace, Wix is a general purpose website builder. And like Squarespace, I'd put Wix here on this graph. But what makes them different is their editors. Remember in Squarespace, you dragged and dropped elements? Well, that was only within this grid. Here is Wix. And in Wix, you can actually drag elements anywhere on a page. Even way over here if you wanted to, though Wix will point out that's not a great idea. You might think, oh, awesome. I want to be able to drag elements anywhere on my website. But if you've followed my channel, you know Wix's editor has some problems with responsive design. You see, we look at websites on a range of devices today. Phones, tablets, laptops, and desktops. Your website should adapt to each screen size. It should be responsive to the screen size. That's responsive design. I find Wix's blank canvas editor is a clunky way of doing responsive design. For example, Wix has these things called strips that you can add for responsive designs. Strips can be subdivided into columns, and you can add elements to columns as long as they stay within these grid lines. It's all a bit confusing to set up. And even then, I found Wix is still not even fully responsive. Like, look at this website. I want this text to stay pinned to the bottom of my page, but when I resize the browser, it gets hidden. Here's the same website built in Squarespace. See how the text stays pinned to the bottom? That's how it should work. That's responsive design. I don't want to make it sound like Wix is terrible, because it is not. But Wix is pretty well known, and yet compared to Squarespace, I'd say it has some work to do around responsive design. And I should say, I'm talking Wix Classic here, like the one they advertise on Wix.com. They have other products like Wix Studio, but Wix Studio is more like Webflow and Framer, which we'll cover later in this video. Next up is Shopify. I said Squarespace and Wix were general purpose website builders, right? Well, Shopify is not that. Shopify is just focused on e-commerce, and e-commerce can be deceptively complicated. Because it's not just about having a nice looking store. It's about all the stuff hidden under the surface. Collecting accurate taxes, dealing with different currencies, tracking inventory, charging correct shipping, dealing with returns, order fulfillment, and so much more. And in my experience, no website builder makes this behind the scenes stuff easier than Shopify. Take my own store.
the happy burlap.
I first built it on Squarespace. It looked good, no problems there, but when it came to printing shipping labels, I found it difficult. You see, I'm Canadian and I needed to ship with Canada Post. So I switched the store to Shopify and all of a sudden I could print labels directly from Canada Post within Shopify.
That one change cut my packing time in half.
And that's the power of Shopify. It's not just the surface design, it's how well they've covered all the hard, hidden stuff. So how does Shopify do this?
Well, they start with a really flexible core. It covers the essentials like creating products, setting up discounts, managing inventory, processing returns.
But the real magic is that Shopify doesn't stop there.
You can also install apps made by third-party developers from the Shopify App Store. So you can add things like Looks for product reviews, IndexGPT, which puts your products into ChatGPT.
Or like once I needed to make a bunch of deliveries around Toronto.
And I found an app that built me a drop-off route in just a few minutes.
Now I would not call Shopify easy to use.
Like it does not have an easy drag and drop page editor like Squarespace. Instead, this is the page editor. Or sometimes it can be this, but even this is not drag and drop. So expect Shopify to have a learning curve. I'd place it here on the graph.
But today you can find Shopify powering everything.
From small e-commerce websites like mine to huge brands like Allbirds and Red Bull.
Overall, Shopify is easily the best website builder for e-commerce. I want to be quick with this next one, Square. Not Squarespace, just Square. They're two different website builders.
And Square is really just for e-commerce websites, like Shopify.
But unlike Shopify, Squarespace is really easy to use. The website editor is what I call a sections editor.
You build pages by adding pre-designed sections to your website. So let's add one. A simple text and image section. Sections are made up of individual elements. Now you can't add things to a section, you just get what you get. Like you can turn individual elements on and off, but you can't add or rearrange elements in any way. And there's no drag and drop. So it's pretty limited.
Section editors like this are very simple, but very basic.
So I'd put it here, easy to use, but very limited.
So why have I included Square? Well, its strength isn't necessarily its website builder.
Square's strength is actually its point of sale hardware.
It's super popular with small businesses. You'll see Square at
retailers, salons, restaurants, cafes, those kind of businesses.
And Square's website builder is a good choice if you're a hybrid online-offline business and want your website and your point of sale system to be completely integrated. For example, here's a sweet spot for Square.
You're a bakery that wants to let people order ahead from your website. Square is perfect for that, especially if you're also using Square for order management with your point of sale system.
Technically, you could kind of do this with Shopify, Wix, or Squarespace, but Square is designed purposefully for this kind of hybrid online-offline business. Now, this video is not sponsored, but you can find links to all of these website builders in the video description. These are affiliate links, which means I may earn a small commission if you click and sign up. Full disclosure, some website builders pay more than other website builders, which kind of begs the question, do I just give the highest paying website builder the best rating? And no, I don't. In fact, guess which website builder has offered to pay me the most? Wix. And I was pretty hard on them. But I will say, the best judge is ultimately you. Try these website builders for yourself. Even like 15 minutes will give you a pretty good sense of which one is going to be a good fit for your project. Okay, we've got 4 more and then of course the bonus, but we got to talk about something. AI. You thought you could get through 15 minutes without someone mentioning AI? I'm sorry to disappoint. There are plenty of AI tools today that you can use to build websites or apps. These AI tools are chat-based.
You give them prompts and they create stuff.
So here are 3 of the most popular AI tools. Let's give them this prompt for a fitness coach website and see what they can generate.
Okay. Nice. Nothing crazy, but pretty cool.
But here's the thing. It is one thing to generate a website. It's another to edit the website, right? So let's open this website in Lovable, one of the AI tools.
Let's click on the About page, and of course, it left an empty spot for me to add a photo. How do we add that photo? Same way we created the website, by chatting with AI. Replace the professional photo placeholder with this image. And let's fast forward. And after 21 seconds, they've added it, but they cropped it. Time for another prompt. Fast forward 19 seconds later, and it's cropped correctly. But I actually wanted the full image, which is taller than this. Another 15 seconds, and it's changed. Okay.
Are you getting it? Prompts are a silly way to edit websites. Let's do the same thing on Squarespace.
We'll upload an image, and then let's crop it.
That was much easier and faster. Obviously, a visual interface is a much more intuitive way to edit a website. Writing out instructions for every action you want to take is super tedious. So I'm not sure about these AI tools for designing websites. I mean, at least not yet. We'll see. Instead, right now, I think it's better to just add AI where it makes sense inside of an existing website builder.
Like Shopify lets you write a product description with AI. That's very sensible. Or it gives a product category suggestion. Or like Squarespace has these new tools for generating abstract background images and videos. Haven't tried it yet, but it could be cool.
And of course, just about every website builder lets you generate your own website with AI, though think of these generated websites as starting points. Kind of like a template, but maybe a bit more personalized. Okay, we're going to discuss the next two website builders at the same time, Webflow and Framer. These are both what I call design tools. It's a kind of website builder that gives you developer level control. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at Webflow.
Here's a website I currently have in Webflow. And if we select an element, we can see the sidebar is full of text options. Some of these you might know, like typography. Other of these options will only be familiar if you're a developer. For example, Flexbox.
Webflow basically gives you the same level of control that a front-end web developer would have. So you can build completely custom websites. Like I've seen people recreate Apple's website in Webflow. That's crazy. So you get total design freedom. Amazing, right? Well, all that power comes at a cost. Design tools like Webflow have a pretty steep learning curve.
Like you need to understand core web design principles. Like, want to align this text correctly? You should understand the difference between zero margin and auto margin.
If you're brand new to Webflow or Framer, expect to spend weeks, maybe even months learning it. But, this is a major but, if you do, you've unlocked a massively powerful tool.
And it's the reason I built the marketing site for Atlas, my software company, on Webflow.
Why? Well, we needed lots of customization.
We wanted custom animations. We wanted a custom slider. We needed a custom pricing calculator. We needed a powerful CMS for our support site's articles.
Technically, a general purpose website builder like Squarespace or Wix could do some of this, but definitely not all of it. Framer is also a design tool. Admittedly, I haven't spent as much time in Framer.
But when I do, it always reminds me of Figma. So if you're familiar with Figma, you might find Framer easy to learn. Now Webflow is a bit more customizable, so I'd put it here. Framer is a bit easier to use, so I'd just nudge it over here. And I have to say, this graph is very approximate. Like saying Webflow and Shopify have the same learning curve is weird. They're very different tools, so just be aware.
Now we're going to quickly move through these last two. Card and Hostinger are included in this list because they are budget friendly, as in they're cheap.
Hostinger is a simple, no-frills website builder. Like, these are the only elements you can add to your website.
I'm not currently using Hostinger for any of my own websites because I often find it's too simple.
If you want to adjust the padding inside this button, you can't.
And I wouldn't recommend Hostinger if you need sophisticated features like an online store or a blog, but it's here because of the price, and it's kind of wild.
If you pay for 4 years up front, it's only $2.99 per month. That's crazy cheap. Now, to be fair, this is called introductory pricing. And it can feel a bit sneaky because what does the website cost after 48 months? Hostinger says it will renew at $10.99 per month after the 4 years, which is actually a pretty fair price. Just make sure to send them this screenshot after 4 years so they don't switch it up and charge you more than that $10.99. No funny business.
Okay, Card.
On the ease of use and customization graph, I'd put Card here, which is a weird place, right? Has a bit of a learning curve, but it's also limited.
Its biggest limitation is it's only for one-page websites.
So like here's an example card website. This is literally it, a simple one-page personal website.
So why am I recommending Card? Well, because it's cheap. Way cheaper than every other website builder on this list.
Like for $19 a year, you can host 10 websites on Card.
Of course, that doesn't include the cost of a domain name, but that's still ridiculously cheap. But like I said, Card is only for one-page websites, and to be honest,
The editor isn't super intuitive, so you'll just need to learn your way around it a bit.
still, if you can fit your website into a single page, nothing will beat this price. Okay, the bonus one, the mystery, it's a biggie, it is WordPress. Not quite a website builder, but it deserves to be mentioned. You see, every website builder on this list is a hosted tool.
So when you sign up to one like Webflow, you don't need to think about hosting. They provide that. They also provide performance optimizations, CDNs, and take care of security. You just never have to think about that stuff.
But WordPress is a free open source tool.
You can go download it right now.
But you do need to install it on a host.
And hosts cost money. And while many offer cheap introductory prices, they renew at roughly the same cost as a website builder.
But because WordPress is open source, it means you can kind of customize it however you want. Want to change your host? You can do that with WordPress. Whereas you can't decide to take your Squarespace website and upload it to Webflow. That does not work. Want to do e-commerce with WordPress?
They've got a plugin for you, WooCommerce. Want to swap out WordPress's page editor for something with drag and drop? You can install Elementor, which gives you kind of that feel. Want a photo gallery? There are tons of plugins for that. Literally over 800.
So WordPress is almost a website platform. And you'll find WordPress everywhere, from your local restaurant to a university's website. Its flexibility makes it popular with freelance web designers. But there's a downside to all this flexibility. In my experience, WordPress seldom just works. Like, you get to choose your own host,
But you also need to keep on top of WordPress updates for security, or make sure to keep your plugins up to date.
and there's lots of plugins to choose from, but they can also slow down your site, and they're not always cross-compatible with one another.
That's what happens when there are 800 photo gallery plugins. It's the blessing and the curse of WordPress.
I stopped using WordPress almost a decade ago because I found things rarely just worked. It often required me to debug code, and if I'm going to do that, I might as well just code it myself, but it needs to be mentioned in this video. So I try to match the right website builder to the right project.
Wix and Squarespace are great for small business and personal websites. Shopify and Square are great for e-commerce. Webflow and Framer are powerful design tools. Just expect to spend some time learning them. Card and Hostinger are budget-friendly picks. WordPress can be whatever you want it to be. Just expect to spend some time configuring and managing it.
You can find links to all these website builders in the video description. Again, these are affiliate links, which means I may earn a small commission if you click and sign up. My preferences have probably come through in this video, but know that I'm not the final word on website builders. Like, I don't currently use WordPress and Wix, but every day, amazing websites are published with these tools. In the end, I really think the best thing to do is to just try a tool, even for 15 minutes. You'll quickly learn if it works for you. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your website.